Looks like an old man.
Well, maybe almost
Look like you're ready to
33.
go back to Zion or something.
Okay, things are rolling, so
You still look young,
Okay.
Russell.
Oh, good. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Okay, part 2. Welcome, everybody. If we could go real quick around the table, just introduce yourself and your kind of who you are, your relationship to Brenda. If we could start with you, Grandpa. What's your name?
Okay, my name is Gordon Marsh Haight, the first one.
The original.
And I was Brenda's father-in-law.
I'm Emma Jean Haight, and I'm Brenda's mother-in-law.
Gordon Marsh Haight the second, and I was Brenda's husband.
I'm Russell Joseph Haight. I was the baby, the youngest of 5 kids, I guess.
I'm Mike Gordon Haight. I'm the only redhead and the fourth son.
I love it. Thank you. Just to start off, we're just going to be asking a couple questions. We kind of wanted to focus on Grandma and Grandpa at this time. Could you just share with us real quick your favorite memory or something that stands out to you about Brenda? Starting with Grandpa here.
Okay, when I first met Brenda, she just was a bubble of energy. And she was always willing to help everything. She was always courteous, always concerned that people were comfortable and everything was going to be okay. She just was nice, and she loved our son, and that was very important. And Gord loved her, and we were just happy with that marriage. And she just was a good housekeeper. I remember when they bought their house there on 27th. No, it wasn't 27th.
70th West, 70th South.
70th South. And they finished the basement. She was an expert sheetrock layer. Also, she could tape it. And she also could plaster over it. And we would think, well, this is done. She says, no, it's got to be better. And she would make it perfect each time. So she was just, and she just did it all. It was just wonderful.
Thank you, Grandpa. Grandma, do you have a
Okay,
memory
one
you
of my
wanna share?
first memories is how much she loved our son. And that meant a lot. I remember asking Gordon about her, and he told us she's top in her grades. She does this outstanding. She makes quilts. She sews. She volunteers at a senior play. It sounded like she did everything on earth. And I said, well, what does she love about you? And he said, she thinks I'm wonderful. And I thought, okay, that sounded good. And one of the first memories we have was when they knelt at the altar in the temple and were married and sealed. Lavoy was just home from his mission, and he said that would be the dream of his life, to kneel at an altar and have someone look at me with such love as she looked at Gordon at that time. It was beautiful. They had a beautiful relationship, and what they loved, good things.
Thank you for sharing, Grandma. Dad, did you want to share something?
Do you want to focus on them first, or do you want me to go now?
I
Okay. So I think there's a lot of things. And one of the first things I remember was I didn't see her specifically when I gave my homecoming, but it was in her ward. And I was pretty dazed and confused when I got off my mission. I was jet lagged. I had mono. I was in a bad shape. But I gave a homecoming, and went to the High Council and gave my coming in. And one of the High Counselors was Brenda's dad, Larry Hutching. And so he felt that it'd be good if his daughter dated me. And so he kind of pushed her into it a little bit, and made arrangements a couple times. One of the things that she did, she asked me out first to go to the BYU girls' preference. And the way she did that is she had a constable that they knew come to our house and knock on the door and said he had a citation for me. And it took a lot to really process that, because first of all, I was a little dozy at the time, and then trying to understand how I got in trouble with the law didn't really click. So it was really clever. Caught me completely off guard, and I said yes, by the way. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. We went to Saltaire, and I said, I don't know what I should wear. And she said, wear a sweater vest, shirt, and a tie. So we went out and specifically bought that, because all I had was my missionary stuff and my pre-mission stuff. And my missionary stuff was bad shape, and my pre-missionary stuff was bad shape. So I wanted to look halfway decent, so that's what we wore a lot.
Thank you for sharing. I see you guys brought some notes. Is there something in particular that you guys wanted to share before we get into more of the questions?
No, I would answer your questions, but I think she was amazing and helped you to feel important. And I do have some talents and abilities, but not many. And when they were fixing their home that they were moving into and painting and plastering and doing everything, I wanted to help. And I really was excited to help when everybody was painting. She understood me. And she said, would you paint inside this closet? And I did. I just thought, oh, yeah, I was part of the thing. She made me feel good. Gordon, by the way, had to work. And by the way, she was like, I'd say 20 months pregnant. No, she was due to deliver Philip. And he had to work that weekend, but somehow with the Hutchings and us, we got the things ready for him to move in. But she did do that. One time, that was really touching to me, she was living at our home with Gordon after he graduated, and they lived in a one room with 2 kids downstairs. And we took Heather to the temple to receive her endowments, and with her mom and dad there from out of state. And when we came back, I just thought, I should have a dinner. I should have something nice. I wish. And my house was in disarray. I walked in. It was clean. It was beautiful. The table was set. There was an arrangement. There was food cooked. She did all of that just thinking of thoughtfulness. It touched my heart so. She made it beautiful for Heather, for Brandon, for her parents, and believe me, she did special things when our kids went on mission. She'd bake cupcakes and put the little flowers in them that they needed to do. And I need to tell you, she played soccer with her kids. She played basketball with her kids. She taught her kids to be part of everything. When I was tending after she had died, I went to mop the floor, and suddenly Mark and Russell went and got their little brooms and their little mops and their little pails, and they were just going to do it right with me. She did not mop that floor alone. She was doing it. She did everything for her children, devoted in a clever way. And I don't know if anyone told you about when she was primary president, and they were teaching about Moroni, and they were talking about he ripped off his cloak and wrote. She went to the DI, and she bought a coat, an old something that would kind of tear. So she was in front of the primary, and she said, he ripped off his coat. And she ripped off her coat, and she painted it on there. Now they learned that lesson.
Yeah, that's a good lesson.
She did so creative, and when she home taught you, you were taking music lessons as well as art lessons, and she also had, Philip was going to school, and she worked on the PTA, so she was working in the PTA, primary president, homeschooling, and also supporting the extra school that Mark was going to. She put her whole soul into everything she did, and her most soul was her family. There was never any doubt of that. Okay, that's some of what I thought.
Thank you for sharing. Grandpa, did you want to share something?
Well, I just second what Imogene says, because Brenda just was superb, I don't know, in everything she did. It's like when some of the kids came home from missions, like Robert, he came home from Uruguay and had
No,
Spanish.
Guatemala.
Or Guatemala, yeah. And she wrote, and there was going to be a song at his farewell,
Homecoming.
Homecoming. And she wrote an extra verse in the song about Robert being a missionary.
And specific
he had done.
events that happened.
Yeah, because Robert met a lady whose baby had just died and was very distressed. And they read to her, Moroni, I think it's chapter 7, about children need not baptism because the priest told her her baby was gone. And they comforted her. She wrote about that in the song.
He said that was worth his whole mission, that he was
Yeah.
able to at least comfort that lady. And she used it into a song. And she's pretty. If I had a family home evening on Joseph Smith, and I would just ask her, well, could you sing this verse at this? She'd say yes.
Yeah.
She would do it. She did it. She could play the piano.
Yeah, remember she bought a piano before she married Gord.
That's
and-
right. That's right.
And the
Was that
first
valuable?
place they moved to was this downstairs apartment. It was pretty small.
Oh,
And we had to carry that piano down the stairs into that apartment. It was quite a task. But she was so appreciative to have that piano.
and she was so happy with her family. That's
Yep.
what she wanted.
Yeah, she loved her kids so much. Okay.
Thank
That
you.
was our basic.
Those are great thoughts. Thank you for sharing them. Do you have any specific memories of your interactions with Brenda? A time that she came, your interactions with Brenda, a time that she came to you and spent time with you specifically rather than just hanging out with your son?
Oh yeah, she would listen to what you have to say, and she was so good to be a listener to what you had to. She made you feel valued. Okay, you were important if you were with her. So I just remember her being a part of everything. It wasn't we had to adjust to her living. She also did say we had a very noisy home, and that was stunning to her. And she said, our house isn't like that. But then when she had boys, she said, I understand. They don't just pull a car, they make a noise with the car. They don't go and stuff like that. So that was fun. She had a fun sense of humor to do that. She made it fun.
Yeah, I just remember those things that she was just attentive to who you were. She just accepted, I don't know, she was a different kind of a person. She just accepted, and she never bragged about her accomplishments or anything. I think she was in debate. And LaVoy's wife, Shelley, I think they were on the same debate team or something. Weren't they?
Well, they kind of competed a
Yeah,
little
they
bit for
were.
the top things.
Yeah, they knew each other in high school and they debated together, but they just were good friends. She didn't lord over anybody. She just, even though she probably could, you know, her good grades are just going to school, and she was remarkable.
And I did tell you how she made a quote for
You told us out there?
yeah.
I'd love to hear it one
Oh.
more time.
One year for Christmas, she made a quote for Emily, and that was her gift to Emily. And Emily says she just remembers being wrapped in being in that, and she says she has it to this day. She uses it to this day. She made, and I love that scripture that she cross-stitched. I don't know how she did that. She's so busy, and yet she cross-stitched this beautiful thing about and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, and gave it to us for a gift, framed and nice, ready to put up. It was amazing. I do know she worked herself to exhaustion. She wouldn't give up on what she was going to do. She was very, I think Gordon has a lot of determination too. So they were pretty much in sync on how they felt about the children and what you needed to do. So that, and she was also very protective of you, wanted you to be safe. She wouldn't have been excited, no, about that climb too.
She did push us to succeed. She wanted us to be excellent musicians. She wanted us to be scholars, athletes.
Artists, appreciation.
Right, and she gave us opportunities to excel in all of those things.
She
made
did.
sure that we weren't just sitting at home doing nothing. So
That's right. I don't think you guys watch TV much.
we did watch some TV, but it's not.
Yeah.
It was
I don't. My memories of being at home are not of sitting and
Yeah.
watching TV.
I
all
never
day.
remember when you lived with us watching TV, ever. So,
Missed out on that, man.
So I think the other thing that was really great about her is that whenever we did an activity, whether it was camping or doing any kind of thing, she was in with both feet. She just
Yeah.
did
Mhm.
fixing the meals. You know, when I took you guys camping, she just was, you know, not just camping, but any activity, whatever we
Yeah.
were doing, going sledding or just doing stuff. Because a lot of our activities were cost friendly, and so they took a lot of preparations and things. You know, wasn't
Mhm.
and you guys seemed to enjoy it, and she really focused in on that and made sure you
Yeah.
guys was a part of it.
it was funny when you were engaged. I don't remember, what Brother Hutching says we need to plan the reception or something. We had no idea. I'm not good at all that way. That isn't anything. And they would go plan, and what did they say? Well, would you like music? And Gordon thought, well, yeah, that'd be nice. They wanted live music. And what did you want? And the Hutchings, they're pretty good planners on doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody what they were to wear. And I was struggling, so then they helped me sew what everybody was wearing.
Yeah, they were very detail oriented. When we did our
Yeah.
trips, they would have itineraries printed out of this day we're doing
And
this
with
much,
purposes.
with
And
this time for this activity. Yeah.
I
But you
remember they
did
were
relax
always
with
on
us.
time. They were always on time because when you were coming back from Nauvoo, they said, well, we'll meet you, I think it was in Green River or something, at a certain time. Because I think we were picking somebody up. I can't remember who, but they were right there. The exchange was made. And
we had a lot to learn.
Fair enough.
We're good-natured. That's one of our assets.
One thing we did want to talk about was some of the impacts that her death had on you. How did her death change your perspective and some of your relationships?
But you know, just before she died, you know, she had the operation, and I think it was Valentine's,
It was in February, but it was right after Valentine's.
or it was just before, because I went and bought all of the daughters and daughters-in-laws a box of Kavanaugh chocolates.
Mrs. Kavanaugh, yeah.
And I came to your house, knocked on the door, and she came, and she wasn't feeling well, but I presented
Oh.
her with that. She was very, very happy and receptive. And then, when she died, and seeing you boys, I don't know, it's just, how does it happen? But it helped me realize that with faith and with the start you guys had, you're going to be okay. Gord, I remember we were at home when we got the news, and it was on a Sunday, and we asked if anyone wanted to go to church,
Todd,
and Todd went with us.
I want to go to church.
Yeah, he wanted to go. But it was a sad feeling. It's the first time someone that young and that close had died in my life, and it has a big impact. You wonder, how does it happen? But it just does. And then you have to live on and do what you can do.
That I'm sure you remember what happened that day. You'd been staying with us,
Yeah.
and Russell was just a baby, and he slept between us, and he's, Mommy, you missed her, but you'd go to sleep. It was just 3 days or 4 days you were staying with us while she was in the hospital, and she was home for 1 day. And so it was Sunday morning, and she had bought a new pair of pajamas, and she had planned, they were bringing in dinner, and she was going to have it with her boys, come out and be with you. And you had your things out by the stairway. You were so excited you're going to go see your mom. And it was coming. Gordon called and said, well, he's going to come get you. And then I got a phone call, and they said, is Gordon there? And I said, no. And he says, well, tell him that Brenda's in the hospital. I said, who is this? Because I thought he had just left her. I didn't know he was in a bishop meeting and not home. But I'm sure that they told you what happened. But just as he arrived, I still had the hand in my phone, and you kids were all just heard me say, what was happening? And he put one foot in and just ready to greet you to take you. I said, no, you gotta go to the hospital. And that's where she was. And we did go there, and they asked if you wanted to see your mom. And you did, but I don't think he even recognized who she was, the little ones. But Todd collapsed, and I went out into the foyer where the waiting was, and someone was holding him. And I said, who are you? I thought, who's? And she's the Relief Society president, was already there. The family was, you were being very supported by that. And then you had been crying, kind of whining for your mom, just her mommy. And as we drove away, I was holding you in my lap, and Philip was in the back, and someone stayed with the Hutchings. But someone had talked to you. They said, well, your mommy died, so she's always going to watch over you. She'll always be with you now. And just as we talked about it, I had such a feeling come over me. It was like you were hugged, like someone just came and hugged you, and you just quieted down. You didn't ask for her anymore. And I think she was very close. I think she might have gone, but she didn't go. She stayed very close. And so we did take Todd to the church. You didn't feel like going, and Mark and Russell went. And the whole theme was on family. Families are together forever. They sang the songs, But I will tell you, I was sitting there and my mind was screaming, this cannot be. This is too horrible. This is horrible. And they started singing the sacrament song. And I felt something else. God is there. His hand is here. Something like a peace entered this horror that was in my mind, screaming, wanting to yell. Don't take their mom away. But why could it be right? The hand of God was in your family. So anyway, how did it impact my life? Changed completely. I was serving on the city, the city arts, some cultural director, chair of something. And we had a lot of programs planned out. I just canceled out of that and knew that just wanted to be with you. And the Hutchings and us traded off One time they did 3 times a week, and one time I did 2. You know, we traded. But Gordon was working very long hours, from 10 to 11 some nights. He didn't get home. And it changed everything. My life changed. It was, but I'm glad that I was there. I'm glad
Yeah.
that I could do that. I couldn't imagine. I think I'd have moved anywhere. I wouldn't have let you guys not have someone who loved me. I didn't. It was, like I said, it was fun though. When I tended you, I could see what she had taught you, and how you responded, and how you were. She had taught you well. When we went and watched and played at the park one day, you shared and made sure that both the babies got their turn. No one hogged the ball or anything. You older kids knew how to treat the younger ones with love. So, and neither one of you could talk very well at all, but when you got mad at each other, it was really cute to watch you yell at each other. And of course we learned the dance of joy from your family, because it was so sad, and I've just got to do something happy here. So Todd did something, and he was still sad. He didn't feel good about getting it done. Oh, maybe I'm not talking about Brenda.
That's
I will
okay.
quit
You're okay.
there. I'll just finish
This is a
one.
good story to share.
I'll just say this one finish. And so he finished one scout achievement that was hard to do. And we did the dance of joy. I said, this is when we do something. We're so excited. We did it. And then Gordy said, well, I did da-da-da-da-da. And I said, oh, we did another dance. And everyone said, oh, well, I did this. And we did. So then we just did it to somehow have joy with coming. But I never felt that you're alone.
No.
I don't think she's ever given up making sure what's what, as hard as it might seem. So I have a testimony of dear Brenda, and her testimony. She fulfilled her mission. She did. So, okay.
Thank you for sharing that. Did you have something else you want to say, Grandpa?
Just amen to what Imogene says. It was fascinating to see how she trained you boys to just go to bed on time. Sure, Gord helped, but she was just kind of the driving force of, we live the gospel and we do what the gospel says. We follow the prophet. She was just that way. She was wonderful.
Thank you for sharing that. I know that is hard memories to dredge up and not super fun to talk about.
Nope.
But it is important that we discuss the things that happen when we die, that we recognize that that is not the black gate of nothingness that people have come to expect it to be, that there is hope through death, that we will live again, and that beautiful things can happen through that. That even after Brenda's death, the world did not end, even though it felt like it would. That we were able to take her example and her lessons and use that to help make the world a better place. So, are there things that you have learned about death, not particularly Brenda's death, but death that have helped you cope with what happens when bad things are happening around the world?
Yeah, the longer I live, I've thought more of Jesus Christ, that he is the answer to every problem we'll ever have. That he loves us so much, and Heavenly Father loves us so much. They're going to provide all the help they can to get us back home to them. And I understand too that as we do all these sealings in the temple, that the whole family, earthly family, sealed together, join in unity to help us join them. And I believe that to be true, that there's so many spirits surrounding us that love us, that want us to do good, that we get all the help we can have if we'll allow it to be. That's what I've learned.
And I think heaven doesn't necessarily take the burdens, but it makes us able to carry them.
Yep.
And to learn and to bless others and understand what happens to others when they happen. And when I was tending, I felt I was blessed. I was helped, given the energy. And particularly, at that time, my back hurt a lot, and you wanted to be held. As a 2-year-old, it's like you clinged. And my back never hurt. It never hurt. And so, and I know it also showed me what the ward can do. Your ward had such compassion. It must have been 6 months. They would come and help clean the house, and they would help have fun with you, and food they brought in for at least 3 months, which really helped because you just wanted to be held. And I thought that was the most important thing. It was more than cleaning the house or doing the other. Plus, they had fun with you guys too. So the compassionate care that people give makes a difference. And I felt they were inspired to do that. And that there was a lot going on. What did I learn? You can keep going.
Mm-hmm.
You just pick up, look to Christ, and do what you can do. I thought it was a very, very sad thing. What a day there will be someday. What a day. And I hope you can feel her at times too.
Thank you for sharing, Grandma. We have just 1 more minute. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to share, or something that we didn't get to talk about today?
She was fun.
Yeah.
You had fun. She knew how to have fun. That was what's one. You know, she was so making sure things were done. But it was fun. It wasn't like she was driving you. She made it so you wanted to do those things.
Yeah.
That was quite a gift that she had to do that. And she loved her family, the Hutchings, so much too. So we were very lucky to have her in our lives.
Yes.
Very blessed.
Did you guys want to say anything before we?
That's
Okay.
great.
Thank you for taking the time to come share these memories, so that Brenda's grandchildren can have something more to remember her by, to have that example that they'll be able to follow and see what kind of people that they can become as they grow up and follow her.
Yep.
Yes.
So will they read what I wrote in that book?
In
The things that happened after she died, like when she came in, when they helped.
I'm sure they already have.
Because I didn't tell that, because I thought you already have that.
Yes. So,
Okay.
are you good, Phil?
Yeah, I'm done crying, Grandma, so you can't tell that story.
So they haven't come in yet. So if you want to share that, that'd be fantastic, because I'd love to hear your words.
Never mind.
If you want to share your words of it instead of just having like the written.
What did he say?
Go ahead and say it, and
So
then we can have it.
we have a little bit more time. They haven't come in and kicked us out yet.
Oh,
So
okay.
if you want to share a little bit more of that story.
Oh, what I already wrote for you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, have you guys done yours yet, or you?
We have not.
Dad, we're gonna do ours another day. So
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. So let's have you guys keep.
Yeah. So, Grandma, if you want to, Philip requested that you just say kind of what you wrote down in that book.
Oh, okay.
A couple of those stories and that you have, so that we have it recorded in your voice.
Okay.
Because you have a beautiful voice, Grandma.
Okay. Gord was 11. He was just turning 12. And they had the dedication of one of the temples that we got to go to. And he was old enough to go. And I said, well, maybe we'll hear your mother singing. She loved the temple. She would join in. And you thought, yeah. And I listened, and I felt her voice. I could hear her voice, and I asked Gord, and he said, You heard it too. There was a time when I was playing the piano at your house, and Russell came running in, and I was singing, and I think he thought, oh, this is Mom. And when he saw me, he just collapsed in a heap on the floor and wept. And I went and picked him up and set him on my lap, and I started to play. And I started to sing. And pretty soon I knew I was singing really pretty. My voice was pretty. I was hitting the notes. I wasn't singing with my voice. His mother was singing to him. And those are the two. I'm sure there's another, but I thought, she's not far. And Russell, when he'd go to bed at night, he wouldn't, don't touch me, don't touch you. He was so mad if you're going to put him in. So we wouldn't. But then if I just put my hand, eventually he'd lean over so he felt the warmth. He just didn't want to be alone. He wanted to feel. And I had a mother's touch. And he could touch him with his mother, I think, too. So those were a couple of times where I really felt Brenda was there with her little boys. The ones at home I was with, too. I think she's happy we did the dance of joy. She wanted her children to have joy.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Thank you,
Okay.
Grandma.
Oh, I'll just say I love her. I love
Yeah.
her.
I appreciate that.
Okay. Hey, Grandma. Thanks,
Good
Grandpa.
job, guys. Ooh.
Your first podcast of many more to come.
What kind of flavors are these?
That's milk chocolate.
Milk. Okay.
Yeah. So if you need a little pick me up, we got some chocolate for you. I think Sherry brought those.
Okay, this is a quite ambitious project you've thought of. What are you doing?
This is Philip's project.
Philip.
Philip.
Mhm.
Oh, Philip.
Yeah, I will tell you all about it. For sure.
I remember Philip talking to you one time about how much you missed your mom or something. And I can't remember, and I told him, sure, I'm trying to say I have. But I just missed it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my phone's out here.
No,
Your jacket's in here. Your purse is in here.
I'm going to take another one.
And look at Philip
Don't let that melt.
I didn't do anything.
I could have talked
were
about
right
your
here
kids
playing
and
video
some stuff, but I talking about you guys.
So we definitely want to get that. So what I'm doing right now is next month we're going to have a dinner where we're going to just have everybody kind of come and talk about mom and stuff like that. So I wanted to make sure we had, the people that remember her, that way, we can kind of have these living memories. And so that's why her sisters were here and David, and so we're going to have like a little dinner and then we're
I
going to
think
share.
that'd be fun. I'd love to live there too.
Yep, and so everybody gets to be there. I do have, so I have invitations for it. And one big thing with it is, obviously I know that,
I have to tell you, her sister-in-laws loved her, and all of them. Shelley, all of them. Okay, I've got this in my hand. How can we help him, Russell?
grandmother needs help. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, brothers, we're gonna do this. Dad, you gonna come back? Nope, you get to come back again, dude. You excited? I'm like, not bad. Yep, it's true. It's not a contract at all.
Someone else left their stuff.
All right, well, Phil, let us know.
Next
I'm
month,
available.
she died on February 27th.
25th.
Do you have some use in this room now?
We'll have to double check.
Okay. So,
If not, do you want to
I
do?
have
If
some
not,
invites.
we've got some more stuff to talk about. We didn't get
Okay.
to everything.
If you
Time
have
goes by
anybody
so
that you think
fast.
would like
Yeah,
it,
in
like,
here.
your kids or
Sorry.
anything like that.
And also, I bumped up against one of your sound cushions.